Hello and welcome back to Umineko.
Welcome.
Um,
This
it-
is our first time recording in a while.
yeah, it has been a while since we recorded. And
I'm very excited.
me too. I believe shit's close to getting real again, right?
I'm gonna be honest, I can't remember.
All right.
Probably, though.
Father says he's extremely busy with his research. Unfortunately, it seems he'll be unable to come down. Come on. We've put this conference in our schedules and come all the way out to Rokkenjima during this crazy busy fall season. You'd think Dad could at least be a bit more sociable.
Yeah, seriously. Dr. Nanjo? Is it really his research and his mood that are the problem? Problem? He isn't already bedridden, unable to get up, right?
Well, I wonder. There's not much I can say. Nanjo glanced at Natsuhi. It seemed he thought it wasn't his place to speak without first getting Natsuhi's approval. Father's state of health is better than ever. It would be exceedingly rude to call him bedridden.
But he only has 3 months left to live, right? Normally, wouldn't you expect him to be wasted away, unable to get out of bed? Isn't that right, Dr. Nanjo?
For a normal patient, that would probably be the case. But Kenzo-san has extraordinary willpower. Perhaps that willpower has frightened even the Reaper away.
Well, if he's that energetic, then I guess we have little to worry about for the near future, right?
Though if he's got that much spunk, I'd wish he'd at least come to greet us. Isn't the whole
Or do
point...
you?
What?
Or do you?
Isn't the whole
Like,
point of...
truly?
Yeah, do you truly want Kenzo to come out? Isn't the whole point of this family conference to come and see Dad's face? I'm not even sure why we came now.
Don't say that. If you were here, you'd complain the whole time about being unable to relax. Shouldn't we celebrate the fact that all of us siblings have gathered this year to spend some time alone? We didn't get to see him at last year's family conference either, right? Can't you understand why his blood children might want to see him after 2 years?
If there's anything you'd like to say in greeting, I will tell him for you. Or, Eva-san, is there something you'd like to discuss with Father beyond merely greeting him?
Come on, what are you talking about?
Give it a rest, Eva. Natsui-san, forgive us. Ava's just worried about Father's condition as his daughter. Please try and understand how she feels.
Indeed. Look how quickly you've grown to respect Father, now that you know how much longer he has to live. Oh, my voice keeps cracking. Yes, I believe I do understand why you want to see him so much. What are you trying to say?
Quit it, Aniki. Why don't we pray that his mood will improve by dinner? Anyway, we've only just arrived. For now, we're only here for a casual greeting. And we could even hold the family conference without Dad. In fact, there's a few things we siblings shouldn't bring to him until we formed a unified opinion. Isn't that right, Hideyoshi Nisan? Yep, just as Rudolph-kun says. This is the only time of year we can all meet in person. We've got to take this valuable time seriously and be frank with each other. Even though the tea hadn't yet arrived, they were very determined.
But before that, perhaps we can spare the time to enjoy some black tea at our leisure, surrounded by the wonderful furnishings of the parlor.
Kirie's words seemed to contain a subtle admonition directed at everyone gathered there. They all understood, and as they cleared their throats and straightened their neckties, the atmosphere in the room returned to normal for a time.
Excuse me, I brought some tea.
Hey, Shannon-san, you just keep getting prettier and prettier. Shannon entered the parlor, pushing the serving cart. Everyone decided to relax and enjoy some black tea for the time being. A wonderful aroma began to spread throughout the room. As far as anyone could see, the strained atmosphere from before Shannon's arrival seemed like a lie. Of course, Shannon, who was setting out the tea, probably didn't even notice. Kirie seemed to laugh faintly at how adult everyone was suddenly acting. Rudolph didn't like it when Kirie took the initiative and spoke at the family conference. It was his worthless male pride. He probably didn't want to look like a weak man who took advice from his wife. She understood that and did her best to refrain from saying any more than was necessary. So she separated herself from the circle of siblings, who only superficially appeared to be enjoying some time together alone, and casually drank her tea near the window.
Oh, Rosa-san, I thought you siblings were enjoying some alone time.
You must be joking.
Sorry, don't take it the wrong way. I'm just a little exasperated by my husband.
Apparently, Rosa hadn't been able to keep up with that on-the-surface friendliness. They'd come here to fight bloodily and dirtily, each trying to grab a part of the inheritance for themselves. She probably didn't like suddenly pretending that they were all chummy. Or maybe she was still too immature for that.
It looks like the wind started blowing hard out here. Out there. Plants are all shaking so much.
The typhoon's probably gotten pretty close already. I wonder if we'll see a lot of rain tonight.
Maria-chan really has grown a lot this past year.
Does it look that way? She still can't even fold her own clothes yet.
Oh, it's true. It's because she has such an affectionate mother. Uncomfortable pause there. She'll grow into a girl with a rich heart.
Rosa fell silent. Maybe she was unsure as to what Kirie meant by that. Oh, that's me. I'm a failure as a mother. Children don't get to choose their parents. That poor girl.
Doesn't that go both ways? A parent can't choose what kind of child they have either.
Rosa bit her lower lip.
This isn't a matter of assigning blame. Isn't it enough that you take your time and watch over her as she grows, conscious of the fact that you'll be living together? You spend every day with Maria-chan, so you probably don't notice the small changes. But the rest of us who haven't seen her for a year can see clearly how much she's grown.
If you really mean that, thank you very much.
Then, if you will excuse me, if there's anything you desire, please call for it at any time.
Shannon bowed politely and left the room. As Hideyoshi and Rudolph, who had a soft spot for women, watched her go, the atmosphere in the room began to revert back to what it had been right before Shannon's visit.
That is such a weird thing to say.
Yeah, especially considering
yeah.
she's not a woman. She's still a minor.
Yeah, she is 16.
Yeah.
Like I'm probably taking it. It's definitely just it sounding weird. The wording being strange.
It's also Rudolph. It's like, yeah, it's okay to be a bit icked out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to like just say he's the kind of person to prey on minors because
Let's hope
That would
he
also be a
isn't.
weird thing to say, but like, I don't know. I just think the phrasing was weird. Anyways, father can't come down. Well, that does still leave us with certain things we can discuss. Right, Rudolph?
Yup, that's right. We didn't come all the way out here just to drink some dusty tea, right?
Very well. What does this matter that you're so clearly eager to discuss? I'm. Those people really are determined. They certainly got started quick.
Sorry, I currently have a yawn that just won't go away.
You're so sleepy.
I am fairly
Joke.
sleepy. I am a sleepy girl,
Oh,
that is true.
yeah, you're so sleepy.
I need to join in too. If I don't assert myself, those people will quickly forget that there are 4 siblings.
Ah, hold on. Sounds like you've got it pretty tough yourself. Maybe I spoke too harshly. Forgive me.
No, I don't mind. I'm the one who should be apologizing. As a pair of mothers with daughters, we should talk more often. Every single time we meet, we end up talking about something shady.
You can blame the atmosphere in this mansion for that. Once you breathe in this air, everyone gets so strained. Just once, I'd like to have a nice long cup of tea with you when we aren't attending a family conference. There's a wonderful coffee shop in Ginza that's a favorite of mine. Please let me invite you sometime soon.
Thank you, Kirie-san. That sounds great.
Oh no. The sky's gotten dark pretty fast. I could almost believe the people in this room made the weather worse. There's already thunder. Oh, what was that one there?
Huh? There really were small splashes of rain on the glass of the parlor window. The weather seemed to have worsened faster than expected. Just then, a silent thunderbolt struck inside Rosa's head, and she remembered that her beloved child was out in the rose garden. A normal girl would try to go inside if the weather got bad. But Maria was different. She would sometimes get stubborn and refuse to move if rain or even spears fell from the sky. That's right, I told that child to just stay there doing that forever, didn't I? Oh no! Maria! Everyone looked back at Rosa when she let out a small scream.
What? What is it?
I'm sorry. I'm going outside for a second. I'll be right back. What the? Seriously, what's going on with her?
Don't worry, she'll be back soon. More importantly, shouldn't we begin? Our main topic. That's right. We can keep talking about that without Rosa. Let's return to our discussion.
Rosa dashed from the entrance hall into the rose garden. When she opened the door, the wind that hit her was too strong to be called a light breeze, and told her that the typhoon was approaching faster than she'd thought. Just as Kirie had said, the wind was mixed in with small droplets of rain. There was also a low rumble of thunder. It could start raining any time. Rosa headed for the rose garden. She headed for the place where she had scolded Maria for a short while ago. It was almost lunchtime. The children had been told to come to the mansion around lunchtime, so they were probably in the guest house waiting to be called. Even if Maria didn't come to them, they would surely think I took her to the mansion with me and wouldn't worry too much. After all, she had been with her mother, so there should have been no reason to worry. I was there and I abandoned my daughter to the worsening weather. Maria! Are you there? If you're there, answer me!
Mm,
I was right. She was still standing stock still, exactly the same way she had been, in the place where I had scolded her. held her in hand, was the candy that I bought, given her, and then stepped on and crushed. With that gripped in her hand, she stood there as the powerful winds whipped her hair about, tormenting her. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Maria. Forgive Mama.
Mama, welcome back. I waited a long time for you to come back. The scary witch pinched me, but I stayed strong, waiting for Mama to come back without crying.
Maria, forgive your Mama, forgive your Mama.
You didn't do anything wrong. You were just possessed by a bad witch again. So I'm fine. I really like you, Mama. I love you.
Ah! I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Please forgive your Mama for losing to the bad witch. Rosa buried her face in Maria's small chest, crying and begging forgiveness. Wait. Yeah, begging forgiveness, alright. And once again, those tears dripped down after who knows how many times. If only the brilliant sun had been shining on the two of them, all of their cares would have evaporated, and it might have felt like they could begin anew. However, what surrounded the two of them was the worsening weather. Sadly, there were only fierce winds with occasional thunder. The sound of Maria sniffling brought Rosa back to her senses. If Maria stood exposed to the wind for too long, she'd probably catch a cold. Okay, Maria. It's almost time for lunch. Why did you come back to the mansion with me?
Go.
Why not? Rosa thought she'd already received Maria's forgiveness, so she hadn't imagined Maria would refuse. But that expression on Maria's face didn't look like that of a child resisting her mother. So Rosa couldn't understand why Maria wanted to stand still, pointlessly, as the weather grew even worse. Maria answered that question.
It's Beatrice. She'll be here really soon. So I'm waiting.
Maria. Rosa struggled to find words for a moment, then fell silent. They'd only just managed to make up after all. She chose her words carefully, trying to get Maria to come with her to the mansion without denying the witch outright. Beatrice is coming? Really? Then instead of waiting here, why don't we wait in the mansion? If you stay in this wind too long, you'll catch a cold.
She'll come. Beatrice will come. And when she does, I'll give her candy. I'll do a trick or treat. I'll give her a jack-o'-lantern marshmallow candy and say Happy Halloween.
Maria pulled yet another sweet out of her handbag, moaning, ooh. Rosa was bewildered and didn't know what to do, as Maria started being difficult again. At that time, there was a sudden blast of thunder. It was probably a sign that this island had been sealed off by the storm, detached from common sense and reality. So after this moment, all common sense would probably cease to apply. The wind blew even stronger, and amidst that blizzard of scattered rose petals, a figure appeared, leaving Rosa unable to imagine that this was a scene from reality. It was probably, no, definitely, fantastical. After all, that shadow of a person was. Jessica with her hair
Oh
up!
shit, here we go.
Beatrice.
Maria dashed over to the shadow. Normally, Rosa would scold her daughter if she dashed over to someone whom she hadn't seen before and didn't know. But Rosa forgot to do that, was unable to do anything but stand there, stunned.
Oh, it's been quite some time. Have you been well?
You've been well. Witches don't catch cold. Ooh.
Indeed, a witch can use curses to make people catch colds. How foolish would it be if she caught one herself? From now on, you should take care not to catch something like a cold yourself.
She patted Maria's head as she said this, smiling roguishly. Rosa couldn't have known the name of the woman who was happily spoiling Maria. However, Maria had called it out in the beginning when the woman appeared. So even though Rosa had never met her, even though the woman still hadn't introduced herself, Rosa was able to know her name. However, that name held a special meaning on Rokkenjima and in the Ushiromiya family. There's no way something that stupid could be.
Beatrice, happy Halloween! Look at what we bought. I'll give you one too, Beatrice. Ooh.
Indeed, happy Halloween. Oh, this is for me. How truly adorable that a candy would be made out of this. The lonely light of a man lost in the darkness of purgatory, unable to go to heaven or hell. Right now, on this island that has been cut off from both the world of humans and the world of non-humans, there may be no more suitable sweet. Maria, what's wrong with that one?
The witch noticed the sweet Maria was grasping. It was Maria's candy, which had been stomped on by Rosa until it reached this pitiful state.
Got stepped on and smashed. Can you fix it, Beto?
Maria didn't go so far as to say that it was her mother who'd stepped on it.
I would
However-
have. Like, right in front of her? That'd be so funny.
However, for some reason, when the witch saw that candy, she looked at Rosa and grinned. A chill went down Rosa's spine, as though this gaze was staring straight through her.
It shall be easy. Give it to me.
Maria held the candy out gleefully. Rosa could do nothing but watch, stunned. How did this person plan to trick Maria, somehow undoing the fact that the candy had been pitifully trampled? Maria looked as though she believed it could be fixed good as new. Without real magic, there was no way such a thing could be possible.
My, it is quite crushed, isn't it? Come, Maria. Close your eyes and try to remember. Because it really was that wonderful a candy. The candy of your memories is always full and fluffy. So you try to remember as well. What kind of candy was it really?
Along with those strange words, spoken as though singing an improvised folk song, the witch threw the sweet into the air. Maria was closing her eyes and remembering, just as the witch had told her to. What shape had that crushed candy really had? Therefore, only Rosa saw that scene. The sweet that had been thrown in the air burst into a gold color. No, that wasn't it. Those were golden butterflies. It scattered into several golden butterflies, and they began to gather at the witch's hand, which was held up to the sky. And as she did this, unbelievably, it returned to its beautiful original form, no different from when it had been bought. Only Rosa and the witch witnessed that scene. Unable to comprehend what was occurring right before her eyes, Rosa stood with her mouth hanging open, completely forgetting to shut it.
You may now open your eyes. Take it. With this, your sweet has returned to normal.
Beatrice is always incredible. Incredible.
There was a stark contrast between Rosa's shock and Maria's innocent joy. Was that what the witch was laughing at? A smile floated to Beatrice's face, one indifferent from the smile she'd shown Maria. One different, not indifferent.
Does my face seem familiar? If you stare so fixedly, you might burn a hole through it.
I'm sorry. Those words triggered something very clearly in Rosa's mind. Rosa knew this face. She knew it from the portrait of the witch. No, wait. Could this mystery woman really be?
Nadia, I give you this in exchange for the sweet that you gave me.
A letter.
The witch pulled a western envelope from her pocket and gave it to Maria. However, when Maria made to open it, the witch stopped her.
You must not. The time will soon come for you to open it, but until then, you absolutely must not. Take good care of it. That will be your invitation to the Golden Land.
The Golden Land. So you'll finally take me there.
Take it and treat it with care. You must not show it to anyone.
I'll keep that promise. You've always got to keep promises with witches.
And this is for you.
Huh? Me? She probably hadn't imagined that the witch would speak to her, too. Rosa was bewildered by the second western envelope, which was thrust before her. She'd seen this type of envelope before. There could be no mistake. It was one of Kinzo's special envelopes, used when he wrote with his own hand and bearing the Ushiromiya family crest. It was sealed with red sealing wax, and furthermore, it had a mark that seemed to have been made by the head's ring. In other words, even without asking what was inside this letter, Rosa knew that this woman, whom Maria called Beatrice, was trusted enough to be placed in charge of a personal letter of the current Ushiromiya head.
It could have been any of the 4 siblings. However, the fact that I have met you here probably means that you were chosen by Kinzo's roulette. So take it. Then read its contents aloud while seated at the dinner table, when all of the siblings are gathered.
What did you say? Rosa looked back and forth several times between the witch's face and the envelope that had been handed to her. Today
What the fuck did you think I said?
Today was the family conference, and the biggest object of discussion would be the inheritance problem. So she had joined together with Ava and Rudolph, and they planned to force a certain condition on Kraus to try and extort several hundred million yen in cash out of him. It was as if the witch could see through all that. What does she intend to announce when all of his siblings are gathered? And with a personal envelope that no one but the Ushiromiya head can use?
Maria, the weather is getting worse. Return to the guest house and wait for lunchtime. And Rosa, we will meet again later. Allow me to introduce myself again at that time.
The witch turned her back to her, laughing. Then she began to head towards the mansion with an air of composure. Maria energetically called out and watched her go, then began to dash towards the guest house, leaving Rosa behind, as though she wanted to inform the other cousins of her fortunate meeting with the witch as soon as she could. At last, Rosa was left alone in the rose garden as the winds grew stronger, unable to do anything but pray that what had happened was just a daydream. When the witch reached the entrance hall, Genji could be seen there. Genji welcomed the guest approaching from the entrance hall with a respectful bow. I have been waiting, Beatrice-sama. There we go.
Beatrice, the mysterious visitor and 19th person who appeared on the day of the family conference. She goes by the same name as the Golden Witch who gave the gold to Kinzo. Her reasons for visiting are unknown. She was ushered into the VIP room, which no one has been allowed to use. It's the past.
Wait. That's a
I've been yawning too.
real. So that's a right thigh. Oh my god. Beatrice and Shen have matching tattoos!
They're on different legs.
Well, they're still matching.
Yeah, oh, I thought you... Okay, yeah.
BFF tattoos. Oh my god.
They kind of, yeah, they kind of are. It is really funny to say it that way, though. It's been quite some time, Genji. You've gotten old.
No matter how old it becomes, furniture carries out its work like furniture until the end.
I remember how that man's wife used to be jealous of you. Is Kinzo doing well?
He's doing extremely well.
Hmm.
The witch probably laughed because she knew Kenzo's own doctor had announced that Kenzo didn't have long to live. However, if anyone actually looked at Kenzo and noticed his vigor, which wasn't at all what you'd expect from someone nearing the end of his life, they might easily call that doing extremely well. Maybe that's what the witch was laughing at.
Then let us go and greet him. I look forward to hurling curses at each other after 30 years.
As the witch grinned, she started walking, leaving Genji behind. Her gait was like that of a family member who knew the inside of the mansion well. Genji followed her in the manner of one who served her. At that time, Kirie came out of the parlor. She'd probably gone out to fix her makeup or something. And when she saw Genji following a witch, she was surprised, although her expression did not change. A guest for Kinzo had arrived, despite him being almost dead, on the day of the family conference when the fate of the inheritance was to be decided. And furthermore, this person was familiar enough with the Ushiromiya family household that Genji was following behind her. Kirie immediately realized that this person she had never met before was deeply important. Kirie and the witch's eyes met. Realizing that it would be rude to pretend not to notice, she greeted the witch.
It's a pleasure to meet you. You are Rudolph's second wife, yes?
Sorry, I just looked at Discord and I saw the photo you sent me.
When you said Breaking Bad and Five Nights at Freddy's, I thought of that picture. I had to send it to you. I just saw it today.
Oh, fuck.
There's another one I have to send you too.
Okay. Oh, you read your line as Beatrice, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool. Correct. This is Kirei-sama, Rudolph-sama's current wife. From this exchange, Kirei realized that this was a guest of fairly high rank, even amidst the Ushiromiya family. And the fact that this was a guest on that level, coupled with her resemblance to the portrait in the entrance hall, made Kirei's eyes instantly open wide. Oh, hold on now, I gotta see this. Those are good.
It's so funny that one of the characters is just really tiny. You don't know her. She's from Caconia. But they just shrunk her sprite so much. Also, the fact that Rena and Shannon are like the same height as the animatronics.
Damn! Sorry.
What was that?
Nothing, ignore me.
Yeah, what was it? What was that? What was that just now?
Say the goddamn line!
No, tell me what that was.
Beatrice
Tell me
is
what
hot.
that was about.
Beatrice is hot, and I've admitted this to you before.
I know. I just like that it's that having this that I just like you having this admission on record.
You are glad that I'm admitting to how hot she is on record on the internet where it will stay forever?
Yes.
Jesus.
Pleased to meet you. I'm Kyrie. I wonder if this is our first meeting. If we have met before, I apologize for forgetting your name. So, you intend to force me to state my name, even though you already have a vague idea of the answer?
Kyrie thought she'd given a sociable and humble greeting. Her expression grew slightly cloudy at that openly oppressive response. At any rate, this didn't seem to be a person she could grow to like. Queen. But if Kyrie's guesses were correct, this witch probably held a vital key to what her own husband was most interested in. Something that couldn't help but influence tonight's family conference. So without shooting back a retort, Kyrie silently watched her go up the stairs to the second floor, with Genji following behind. So, when someone tapped her shoulder from behind, she was so surprised she almost choked. It was Natsuhi. Kyrie-san, why are you standing still in a place like this? Are you not feeling well?
I'm sorry. I was just fascinated by the portrait of the witch for a bit.
Oh, you mean the Golden Witch, Beatrice. The one whose gold was supposedly necessary for the revived Ushiromiya family we see today. Quite a fantastical story, just one might expect from grandfather. Did I say
Grandfather?
Did I say grandfather?
You said grandfather.
Why did I say grandfather?
Probably because usually they're saying grandfather.
Yeah, true. Natsui spoke in a perfectly ordinary way. It was the sort of comment you'd expect from someone convinced that the thought of a witch existing was ridiculous, no more than another of Kinzo's ramblings. However, for some
The way
reason...
that was...
Huh?
Sorry, the way that was phrased was pretty funny.
However, for some reason, that point of view didn't seem quite right to Kyrie now. Just a moment ago, she herself had seen the Golden Witch come in from the entrance hall and climb up the stairs. So Natsui's word made it feel like as though someone was trying to deny the existence of that person, or else make it seem like she was never there to begin with.
I'm sorry. Maybe I'm getting a bit of a headache. I think I'll rest for a little while.
Oh, is that so? Then I have some good headache medicine. I'll get it for you.
Yay, migraine besties.
These two should run away
Or,
together.
like, something like that. Yeah, they should. Purple girls.
The hallway in front of Kenzo's study was filled with the scent of sweet poison, peculiar to that green liquor. Genji, who was completely used to it, did not grimace. And the Golden Witch didn't grimace either.
I bet she drinks absinthe on the regular.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
She's a little bit too unhinged for me not to suspect that. Like, her personality is just really unhinged.
Yeah, no, yeah, totally.
How long has he been in there since last he left?
I believe it has already been several years.
Is he that desperate to turn me into a bird in a cage? How pitiful. By now you're the bird in a cage. You're the ghost of the study, are you not? How pitiful that he isn't able to recognize even that.
Just hear her very muffled, "Hey, fuck you!"
From Kinzo?
Yeah.
It's just funny to me that he would talk like that. Like the notion of him just saying it in that tone with that phrasing.
Until he meets you again, he will probably continue his research even after literally becoming a ghost.
Is it love or madness or a delusion? And yet, perhaps even those can form magical power when strong enough. You sad magician.
The witch grasped the doorknob to the study. Get fucked! When she did, there was a sound like that of flesh burning and splitting open. It was the sound of the doorknob literally burning the witch's hand.
I always love how you say she's hot, but then also you're just rooting for her misfortune
Well, yeah,
all the time.
she's hot, but she's also a cunt. Two things can be true.
Mm, I'm just not used to finding people. I'm just not used to finding people hot when I don't like them.
Real. Beatrice-sama.
So it's pretty funny when I see the juxtaposition of this. What's this? A ward against magic. Is that person able to get by without relying on something like this?
I have heard that this door would cause you great pain, Beatrice-sama. Shall I open it? Oh god!
You okay?
Yeah, oh god, there's like something in my throat. Hold on, I'm grabbing a drink. Ugh. Alright, I'm back.
You good now?
Yes.
Okay, good. No, it is fine. If he wins, I will be a bird in a cage for all eternity. If he loses, only the life of a laughingstock will be left. The life of a pitiful magician who went mad with love and lost everything. Already, Kinso.
Oh, that was you. I was
Excuse me?
sorry.
No, don't apologize. It's fine. Already, Kinzo and even I are nothing more than pieces laid out on the game board. All that is left is for the roulette to decide who wins and who loses. Until the roulette shows. Until the roulette shows its result, there is no need for me and Kinzo to meet again.
The witch looked at her hand, which was beginning to heal bit by bit, even though it had been horribly burned.
Or perhaps that is why he asked us forward here in the first place. Yes, perhaps even that is honorable in its own way. By now, everything sits on top of Kinzo's game board. I like it, Kinzo. Allow me to enjoy my game with you. Allow me to enjoy the failure of the final gamble, of the old magician who fell in love with me and threw away his entire life. "1 p.m.
1 p.m.
I'm guessing it's p.m.
It's 1 in the morning, actually, weirdly enough.
Like, yeah.
So where is it? And who's talking? Oh.
Excuse me. I've brought lunch. Enter. Excuse me.
After receiving approval, Cannon entered the VIP room, pushing the servant cart that carried lunch. The servants called this room the witch's VIP room. That was because Kinzo strictly ordered that it always be kept clean, so that it could be used at any time. Even so, guests would not be allowed into this room no matter who they were. That's why, at some point, the servants had started calling it the VIP room, which was supposed to be set aside only to welcome the special person Kinzo waited for. The witch from that portrait. And today, Cannon realized that this was absolutely true. When he entered the room, the blonde-haired witch was gazing out the window. Outside, the rain was no longer falling weakly. As she looked out at the beautiful rose garden, which had been tended to over several days for today's sake, as she saw the winds and rain ravage it, was struck by some sentimental feel. Was she struck by some sentimental feelings? Okay, that was on me. Cannon was not able to let anything more from her back. Was not able to tell anything more from her back, which faced him.
I will prepare the meal. Beatrice-sama.
Cannon went out of his way to call out the witch's name, hoping that she'd turn around. He wanted to know. He wanted to know if the witch who tempted him and Shannon in the past had really appeared again. When he did, the witch whose name had been called laughed, her back still facing him. Holding back her voice, she laughed. Cannon was startled. It was almost as though she had read his mind and knew that he had called out to her, hoping to make her turn around.
It smells good. It appears Krauss hired a good cook. Yes, he's called Goda, and was employed here recently. There's nothing better than being skilled at cooking. Delicious food completes the 3 pillars of pleasure for living in the human world. It is a secret to preventing boredom after 1,000 years.
Cannon and the witch's eyes met. Then she grinned. Without a doubt, certainly, this was clearly the witch from that day, Beatrice. The witch that no one but he and Shannon could see in the past finally held a form, and had arrived openly as a guest through the entrance hall.
Beatrice-sama. It has been a long time, count on the furniture. It has been quite some time.
Cannon tried to remember to be polite to this guest for the time being, but the visit of the suspicious witch which made the dark clouds start to enshroud his heart, especially considering that today was the family conference.
You appear to be uneasy about what I plan to do now that I have appeared. Am I right?
Cannon didn't force an answer. This witch probably reads minds, so it's pointless to go to the trouble of saying out loud. Of course she could even read his resistance. So the witch giggled at Cannon's childish defiance.
I came to fulfill my final promise with Kinzo. Your final promise with the Master. I lent Kinzo a mountain of gold. When Kinzo gives that up, it will be returned to me with interest. I came to accept that interest tonight. I don't know what you're talking about.
However, uncertainty began to gather in his heart. Whatever this witch had to say, it couldn't be anything good.
There's no mistake. Whenever witches have something to say, it's never anything good. You're correct.
Oh my god, she can hear me. She can hear me do the narration.
However, like scissors, the potential of witches depends entirely on how they are used. Sometimes there are those like King Solomon who succeed in great exploits. However, most who make use of us end up meeting a cruel fate, just like in fairy tales. But Kinzo is crafty. He has incorporated even my collection of the interest into his ceremony. Is he an absurdly powerful magician who can surpass even me? Or else a mere fool possessed by madness? Amusing. Truly amusing.
I bet I could surpass Beatrice in magical power.
Hmm?
I bet I could surpass Beatrice in magical power. I can beat her both magically and without magic, I think. I'm built different.
Like you're also immune to psychological warfare.
Yes, as we all know.
And how you just wouldn't get Stockholm syndrome.
Exactly, I'm built different. Cannon couldn't guess what the witch was muttering and laughing about. All he knew was that anything that made this witch laugh
must have the exact opposite meaning for everyone else. And in the back of his mind, the horrifying words which the witch had spat at him in the past began to resurface.
What? Did you think I'd lend you my power and ask for nothing in exchange? I'll gladly assist a pair in love. And in exchange, I'll enjoy watching the cruel fate they'll eventually meet. I've never come across a better show. Not over the course of 1,000 years. I love this sprite.
It's such a good sprite.
Could it be that you... Behold the sweet fish river running through my beloved hometown. You who seek the golden land, follow its path downstream in search of the key.
The witch suddenly began to recite a bizarre poem. It was something he remembered hearing.
Could it be the witch's epitaph?
There was no mistake. It was the epitaph that accompanied the portrait of the witch Kinzo had put on display. The relatives had guessed that it referred to the location of the hidden gold, but no one knew what it meant for sure. The witch suddenly began reciting that epitaph.
Hannah, since you are furniture, I imagine you've heard about it from Kinzo. The day when everything will be returned to the Golden Land has come. Rejoice. The day when you'll be freed from the shame of living as furniture has finally arrived. I believe you've wanted that for a long time. To furniture, which finds no value in its own existence, merely existing day to day must be nothing but agony. To those with souls, this world is worth clinging to, but those without souls find this world to be full of nothing but suffering.
Complicated expressions flitted across Cannon's face. This was the day of release that Cannon had been looking forward to. However, the coming of this day had been mercilessly sudden, and for some reason, he didn't like the hateful tone used up by this witch as she informed him of the coming of this long-awaited day of rest. Cannon couldn't even decide what emotion he should be feeling.
Why do you not rejoice? Do you actually have some regrets left in the real world? As mere furniture? I have no regrets.
Aw shit, Cannon's played Postal. Basically the tagline of Postal is "I regret nothing."
Because I am furniture.
Which, speaking of Postal, I just got Postal 2, so if you
let's go.
Let's fucking go! I got Postal 2. There's 4 Postal games.
You truly are a model specimen of furniture.
Like something I'd buy at IKEA.
How nice, how nice. However, it won't be any fun if you have no regrets at all. Are you saying regrets are how you find pleasure? That is correct. Most witches who live for 1,000 years get tired of life. In order to escape boredom, I adorn people's faces with fruit and brandy and cook them like cakes. I find humans dancing through oppressive fates inside an oven to be so very entertaining. You see, I'm actually a tad famous in this regard. So much that rare guests come from far away to see my skill at cooking. Perhaps this is something that mere furniture cannot understand.
Cannon couldn't understand what the witch was saying. However, he fully realized that this was a terrifying being who treated the fate of humans as a show, enjoying it whenever some harm befell them. However, furniture has no soul or life, much less a fate. Pitiful furniture does nothing but serve until the day they're released from the real world. To furniture like that, the witch who had come to release them from everything was a being to be received with overwhelming affection. Even though the day Cannon should have been waiting impatiently for had come, he was confused by his own inability to accept it easily. Why was it? The face of Shannon, the person he loved as a sister, rose to his mind. And for some reason, Jessica's face did too. Cannon bit his lower lip hard enough that it hurt. Thinking about Jessica like that was something furniture must never do. Even though he thought he'd known that, even though he complained about Shannon's relationship, why was it that Jessica rose into his mind at a time like this? He felt a little shameful at his own naivety. And to forget about Jessica, he turned his thoughts to Shannon. Shannon is also furniture. She has no reason not to rejoice at the coming of the day when all will return to nothingness. But Shannon, through her relationship with George, has experienced an emotion forbidden to furniture. Even though she isn't qualified to be bonded with him, she's still trapped in a dream that she isn't allowed to have. Will Shannon be able to joyfully accept this development? No, she won't. Shannon still has lingering regrets. Those will probably become a great source of pain and torture for her. And those lingering regrets were planted by none other than this witch. Why? Because that would be more interesting, nothing more.
This day that Shannon should have been waiting impatiently for will probably be a harsh burden for her, giving her emotions that she must never experience. I thank you for granting me, us, furniture, the day of our release. And I hate you for making this day so difficult for Shannon to accept. I wanted to make you suffer from your regrets as well, just like Shannon. However, you continued to live like furniture, with foolish honesty, never getting ensnared by me. And yet, it seems you loved Shannon a little too dearly, right? Shannon's regrets are now your regrets. Will those feelings transform into hatred for me? If you wish to kill me, give it a try. As Kinzo's furniture, you should at least have that much power, right? However, if you kill me, then the day of rest for furniture will not come for all eternity. Could you bear to live with that? Are you truly capable of resisting when I try to release you? Kneel. What? Kneel and kiss my shoes. Otherwise, I will leave this place. I'll go back and never show myself again for all eternity. So, Kana, do you think you could bear to live like that? If the door to the Golden Land is opened, your hard life as furniture will end. If you desire, I can even give you life as a human. After that, you will be on the same level as Jessica. Surely you want to experience the taste of love. There's no point trying to hide it. After seeing Shannon indulging in a sea of sweet love, you grew jealous. You are sorely tempted to know the taste of love. Stop it. Stop it. You're trying to ensnare me again. I won't be reduced to a toy for your amusement. Huh. Then I'll be satisfied with Shannon alone. After all, you aren't the only one who is implanted with the seed. Even fruiting plants sometimes fail to bear fruit. After all, the one who obtains the key must then travel to the Golden Land in accordance with these rules. On the first twilight, offer the 6 chosen by the key as sacrifices. On the second twilight, those who remain shall tear apart the 2 who are close.
The witch recited the epitaph again. It was so sudden I diverged so strongly from the current topic. However, that challenging smile made it seem almost as though she was using that epitaph as a threat against Canon.
Do you not understand? For the ceremony of the epitaph to succeed at the second twilight, 2 who are close must be offered as sacrifices. It could be any 2 who are close, husband and wife, or even a pair of lovers. According to the rules of the ceremony, who will be selected is up to me to decide on a whim. Don't you think there could be no more fitting sacrifice for the second twilight than Shannon as she is now? You dirty.
Canon realized something. Until today, he thought he'd given up everything else and lived as furniture, acting like furniture. But in reality, that wasn't true. He loved Shannon too dearly. Therefore, when Shannon was in pain, Canon shared in that. If only Shannon had continued to live as furniture, indifferently like Canon, without any regrets in this world, he wouldn't have had to be in so much pain. The witch planned to toy with Shannon, who had known the taste of love. No, whom she had taught the taste of love, as she killed her. She wouldn't be welcomed into the Golden Land and granted a compassionate release. Instead, if the witch had her way, she'd be used as a sacrifice, subjected to the utmost of torture and pain, and forcibly turned into a human foundation for this evil ceremony. And this witch would probably make Shannon meet this horrible fate, for no reason other than that it was amusing to her. Furthermore, she was threatening to do this so that she could make Canon, who had never submitted to the witch, finally give in. It was that simple. In the end, though he had tried to resist the witch and avoid pleasing her, he had only made things more amusing for her. After all, he was furniture. No, a toy. There were nothing but toys meant only to distract her from her boredom.
Damn. What will you do, Canon? If you kneel, I might refrain from choosing Shannon as a sacrifice. See? I've always wanted to make a toy like you surrender someday.
Without even a fragment of elegance, the witch sneered at Canon and laughed indecently. That's right. She predicted Canon's submission even before he'd made that decision himself. Canon chose to get down on both knees in front of the witch. Pussy! It didn't matter what happened to himself. However, the one thing he couldn't bear to see was Shannon, who had given him his only reason to live during his days as furniture, being toyed like this. toyed with like this. That was why kissing the shoes of the witch was an easy oath for Aunt Cannon to make. When his quivering lips actually... Oh, God. I hate the term quivering lips.
It's pretty bad.
I
Yeah.
only ever hear it in a very certain set of circumstances, and every time it sucks. Actually touched the witch's shoe. Beatrice let a look of ecstasy rise to her face, then laughed with a voice filled to bursting. At that moment, the witch who had grown born of life after 1,000 years was completely filled with the evil emotion that she lived for. It fades to Battler and Beatrice in the tea party room, and he's like, man, what the fuck was that? Was that necessary? When lunch ended, the relatives moved to the parlor. Rosa had bought a high-class brand of black tea from a famous store in Ginza. That had been served, and the parlor was filled with a pleasant aroma. Since the children were there too, the adults tried to interact like normal relatives on the surface, talking peacefully about recent events and how their children were growing up. It had started raining, so the children couldn't do anything but sit here like this, watching TV, unable to go outside. Maria was apparently a TV kid, and she kept watching a boring daytime program without getting bored, giggling all by herself. She's
She's
watching...
watching baby sensory videos.
I was about to say she's watching Maury.
She's watching Skibbity Toilet.
Umineko AU that takes place in the early 2000s, and Maria fucking loves shit like Maury and Jerry Springer. At first, Battler joined in, seeming to deepen his relationship with Maria. But he had gotten up early that morning and was gradually hit by a wave of drowsiness.
That's a big yawn. Did you get up really early this morning?
Well, something like that. Now that all the tension's gone, I've started getting sleepy while listening to the sound of the rain.
Tension? You call freaking out like that tension?
At least it is for me. Battler gave another great yawn and slowly lay down on the sofa. He really did look tired. George and the others had tried talking to him, thinking it was a sign of boredom. But when they realized he really was sleepy, they decided to let him be.
My. They say that if you lie down right after eating, it'll become a mackerel.
Stop kidding around. Goto-san said we'd be having calf steak tonight. I'd make it mackerel steak. Kumasawa-san? He looks pretty tired. Could you get him a blanket?
Here you go.
Kumasawa brought a blanket over from the shelf. The large parlor wasn't cold, but the air had gotten a little chilly. So when Battler took the blanket, he immediately wrapped himself up in it like a turtle.
You really were sleepy. When would you like to wake up? I'll wake you.
I can't say I've got any particular requests. You can wake me up if you need something from me, and if you don't, just let me sleep forever.
I'm not sleeping. A nap? A nap? I'll do it too.
Hey, Maria. Battler's sleepy, so you've got to leave him alone. Kumasawa-san, could you give us another blanket? It was doubtful whether Maria really wanted to take a nap. She probably saw Battler wrapped up in a blanket and wanted to do the same. When she received the blanket from Kumasawa, she joyfully wrapped herself up in it and set up camp again in front of the TV. Sheesh. And just when we finally gathered all the cousins together after 6 years. This guy doesn't have a clue that he's the main guest at the family conference, does he? I can still hear you. We took it easy eating lunch, and there's even a typhoon and rain outside now. Since I've got nothing to do, that means it isn't my turn yet.
I wonder about that. If you have a passive attitude like that and never do anything unless something else happens, your life will be pretty boring, right? No, that's not what I mean. How should I put it? At times like this, I like to think about it this way. It isn't my turn. If this were a play, it wouldn't be my turn to go on stage. So the best thing to do is stay on the wings of the stage. You're always the main character of your own life, right? Why are you acting like you're in a supporting role? You've got to move forward by yourself and get up on the stage. That's not what I mean. Let me fucking sleep. I'm trying to say it's
So
not.
rude.
Trying to say it's not my turn yet. Ah. Sorry, I'm sleepy and my mind's a mess. Just give me a break. No kidding. You're so sleepy you're spouting nonsense. Let's leave him be for now. Hey, I can't let him get away with saying crap like that. You're always the main character in your own life. I've got serious issue with what Battler's saying. He's just half asleep. Don't take him too seriously. It's just that lack of guts. You know, not wanting to go on stage just because you think you can't be the main character. Something about it just pisses me off. With distant eyes, Jessica gazed out the window at the gray rose garden obscured by the rain. When she put her forehead up against the glass, the pleasantly cool sensation seemed to chase away memories she was trying to forget. So it just wasn't your turn yet? Is that it? Then, just when will you get up on the stage? In that case, who the heck is the main character on this stage? Dang, it's like you think you can do whatever you want. What the hell is all this? It's all screwed up!
I was merely amused that your reason for denying me was based on whether there were 18 or 19 people. I just tried changing my opening move. No more. Your greatest basis for denying me is simply that I wasn't laid out as a piece on the game board. So, all I have to do is start by focusing on the queen, like this. Isn't opening the road for the queen on your first turn one of the classic moves in chess?
Quit playing around. There's no way I can accept something like this, right? Witch came in, walking right through the entrance hall, you say? Don't mess with me!
What's this? In the last game, I gave you incredible freedom in making your moves, correct? This time, all I'm doing is moving my pieces in response to your moves. Are you already giving up, right at the start?
You bastard. Don't mess with me! Like hell I'd give in! Great move, go ahead and just move however you like. Okay, so your turn's far from over, is it? Move however you want. Form a huge battle formation while you still can. I'll definitely withstand you. I'll definitely corner you. Come at me as best you can. I don't want you to have any excuses. You aren't even close to making me accept something like a witch. That's right, just now, it looked like Maria's candy was fixed with magic. But you might have actually just had another one of the same candy hidden in your pocket and switched them with that little show, making it only look like you fixed it with magic. Yeah, that's right, that has to be it. It's useless, it's all useless. He's already so nervous when yeah. That's a good reasoning. That's just a simple sleight of hand trick.
Uh-huh. Rosa saw the moment when the candy split into butterflies, correct?
Who cares about that? That was a hallucination or a trick, or maybe she just saw it wrong. That isn't a big problem. Dude, calm down.
So you throw out the part you can't explain as trivial? I see. Is that your move in response to mine?
What was that magician that made the entire Statue of Liberty disappear? Hold on. Magician, Statue of Liberty disappear. David Copperfield.
How
During
did he do that?
a live televised event. Well, there's a video explaining it, but here, let's see the act. I want to look at the video. Oh my god, this is 3 minutes long. And I'm getting an ad. Ah! Come on, come on, come on. Okay, there we go. Alright. Alright. Yeah, homie just brought up a huge, massive screen. Messed with something. And then he's gonna lower the screen. Yeah, and the Statue of Liberty is gone. Yeah, it's just completely gone. Yeah, just look up David Copperfield vanishing the Statue of Liberty.
Damn.
Like, there's some amazing shit you can do if you just have the right material. If you have the right sleight of hand trick. Like, Battler is getting tilted himself. He's tilting himself. If he just calms down and thinks it through, boom, he can come up with so many explanations.
Trust me, you haven't seen the least of it.
Oh god, I can't. Like, it really just. It looks like it. I'm just imagining Battler having a panic attack while Beatrice is just sitting there sipping tea. It's like, just calm down. She hasn't cornered you.
Trust me, Battler comes up with some explanations later.
Oh god.
You dug your own grave, Shiromiya Battler. It still isn't your turn yet. Allow me to make my move for a little longer. It has barely begun, the turn of the witch.
Alright. And I think we'll end it there.
Damn. It is a good place to stop, I guess.
Yeah. Save. Oh my god, turn the goal. She said the thing! Oh my god! Sorry.
She said the thing!
She said
yo.
She said the thing!
Holy shit.
Alright. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Umineko.
Yeah, this one was pretty fun.
And it's only gonna get funner from here. So
I
fucking.
think it's really funny how Beato just shows up.
She just shows up. I mean, yeah. Again, though, I hate that something they do is that, like, by acknowledging the existence of a 19th person, it's the same as acknowledging the existence of a witch. When it could be a 19th person that isn't a witch. What would piss Beatrice off more than just being like, nah, you're not a witch. In fact, you're the bastard child of an affair that Kinzo had. Like,
that would be pretty funny.
That would be a great way to piss her off.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you'll join us next time. Bye.
Bye.